professional relationship when you were competing for the same job? And is that, because you guys never, there was no ill will, there was no like, I want to beat this guy out. You guys were both throughout the whole quarterback battle back then after that national season. You guys were rooting for each other. Is that about you guys as personalities, or is that more about the coach and the culture?
I think it's a mixture of both. When you're thinking about what culture Ohio State was developing at the time and what Coach Meyer was all about, was about competitive excellence, and that's what we strive to be each and every day. We wanted the best for each other, but we also wanted to find a way to bring the best out of us as individuals. And we all had the same mindset of having team first, and may the best man win a job at the time to put the team in the best position to win the games.
All right, JT, and I gotta tell you, I still think that the best half of football that I've ever watched a quarterback play at Ohio State was when you beat Penn State in the shoe. It was absolutely incredible. I also think back to you in that double overtime win over Michigan. There's so many memories, but I want to hear from you your favorite Ohio State memory that you have.
Favorite Ohio State memory? Win the national championship for sure. The ultimate goal was to win the national championship. So with that, I didn't want to really do anything else. And that was my favorite thing there.
Hey, if Scotty aren't different places right now, don't you say that. Because I'm going to Scotty my left right here. They beat Wisconsin 59-0 in the Big Ten championship game that year. Just so you know, Scotty, I'm the biggest JT barrier you're going to find. But that game against Wisconsin, I'm curious, Cardale, how did you approach that? Because you were, as far as college football goes, Ohio State, you were inexperienced going to that game.
But I think it goes back to the competitive excellence each and every day in practice and competing at a high level. At that time, I was a backup quarterback going against the #1 defense in the country every day on scout team. So I think that helped prepare me for those moments. And then having so many great guys in the room like JT and Braxton and quarterback coach and coordinator Tom Herman at the time, they made sure all of us prepared like starters. So when we got that opportunity, unfortunately it came through injury for JT, but when we got that opportunity, we was ready, so we won't let the team down.
I know it's still good to get a Michigan flag. I know that you guys hate Michigan more than anything, and we should take it down. I'm a little bothered to say it's right line, second line. But other than Michigan, what's the next team you hate the most in the Big Ten? And JT, same question for you.
It's Michigan State. I think it's the only Big Ten team that we lost to, unfortunately. So they stopped us from repeating for a potential national championship. They beat us in the Big Ten championship game before. So Michigan State for sure.
All right, you agree with that? Michigan State?
Yeah, Michigan State for sure. They took away the opportunity for us. That was something that was crazy. But then also, I think that was probably our second, hardest battle when we talk about the season. Penn State was always a good fight too, but this is Michigan State too. Any team to take it off. Nah.
Yeah. And JT, okay, so you were a very successful assistant coach in the NFL. The Bears had an unbelievable season. I'm curious, with you in the NFL now, how often do you get a chance to watch Ohio State play on Saturdays? Because you're so busy with the NFL. I'm curious how much you're able to watch. And then also kind of give me your thoughts on Julian Sayin and kind of when you're watching him play, as a former quarterback watching him, your thoughts on Sayin.
Yeah, so I would say in the course of the season, I definitely catch the later games, like we had an afternoon game or a night game. I'll be able to watch those after meetings, because otherwise, man, just kind of for Sunday night's game or Sunday games, right? But talking about Julian Sanders and what he's done while coming here at Ohio State, I would say it was definitely different as far as the offense that we ran. I mean, just the moment the coach style, working through a progression, and then the freaks he has out there on the edge too, getting those opportunities for those guys to make plays. So I think he does a great job just putting the ball in play, working through the progression, letting those guys make plays for him.
I always love to ask this question to former Ohio State athletes. I did ask Braxton last year at your celebrity softball game, I think it was. How mad are you NIL did not exist when you were playing?
Not that bad. Because of the lessons we learned, not having NIL. I came into Ohio State at a very unique time. The team was hit with some sanctions for things that guys did previously before I got there. So the lessons that we learned through the hard work and dedication and doing things the right way, I wouldn't trade those for dollars and cents at all. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of guys are making life-changing money in that space, but I always worry about the development and the culture that is setting for a lot of these guys long term. So I wouldn't trade it for the mindset and the career and the path that I took now, but it's great for the players now in the culture of college football.
All right, JT, one of the biggest plays in Ohio State football history was in your double overtime win over Michigan in the shoe. 4th down, you're able to pick up that first down. I want you to run for me in your mind your memories from that double overtime win and specifically that play where you picked up that first down.
Yeah, so we were struggling that entire second half, for the most part, and just moving the ball in the field because they had, I think, the top defense in the country that year. So then when we got to I want to say the last drive, we just started really flowing and doing things that we were used to. So it wasn't new things in our game plan. So that was just well, but that game, or that play in particular, so I remember I got knocked back a little bit, and it was just like a tight zone to the left. We had a tight end coming across the kickoff at the end. He got knocked back a little bit. So as I'm running, I kind of was running, getting knocked back into him, and I fall forward a little bit. It's kind of like a topsy-turvy deal. So I hit on the ground, and I looked to the sideline. I was a little nervous, so I'm not gonna lie. But I looked at the guy, then he did like this. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, you got to review that. So look, at least it just stand as called, we'd be all right. But I was a little nervous, not gonna lie.
And if you remember what that play was called?
Yeah, so that was, I want to say, that was Trey Wright, 14 cap.
Okay, because Ohio State,
I wasn't there, but yeah.
yardage is always like, it feels like it's been dicey over the last several years. Yes, 4th and 1, Ohio State picking up the first down. But you were so good. You were automatic. When it was 4th and short, we knew the play. We knew that you were running the football, and we knew that you were picking up the first down. Why is it so difficult now for Ohio State sometimes to pick up that 4th and 1 or 4th and 2?
Ooh, I wouldn't be able to say that. What I was thinking, you said everybody knew, so did the defense knew, so that didn't make it easy, I'll tell you that. But with that, I'm not exactly sure if there was been struggles as far as our offense now, picking up those short plays, but yeah, the fact that everybody knew, that made it any easier, let me tell you.
All right, this for both of you now. If you get a phone call from Ryan Day and said, hey, we need you on the scout team this week. We want you to come in and play quarterback on the scout team against this defense. Are both of you in shape and interested in doing it?
In shape, I don't think so. But that would be an interesting thing. But the real question is if they can hit the quarterbacks or not. If I couldn't get hit, maybe I'll do it. But we'll see. I probably got like 12 to 14 plays of practice in the
Nah, I'm okay. I don't get paid to do that.
Okay, see, like I work with Carpenter, and sometimes Carpenter go out there and do like some practices with the squad. That's why I wondered, like, at quarterback, they put the black jersey on you.
Well, he's not putting on pads and really getting out there with the guys. He's probably running around with them, but he ain't putting on pads.
All right, I need you to look at the camera for this one, because I see Tymus Powell every day.
Oh, unfortunately.
Not unfortunately. Anyway, okay, unfortunately. Anyway, so Tymus in that play where he got the interception in the end zone against Alabama, should he have run that out or taken a knee?
He easily should have took a knee. I mean, I think honestly, you can look back at it and understand the magnitude of the game. It was selfish.
Yes!
It was very selfish.
That's
but,
exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Selfish
it was
play.
selfish.
He was like, oh, I'm about to score. And I was like, why did it matter if we already scored?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Thinking about himself.
the worst thing that could have happened is, the ball get knocked out of his hand, they pick it up, and they get, a score or some more time on the clock. But in retrospect, he should have took a knee. But it was kind of the rubbing, salt in the wound for him to return it and, get some yards. But selfish.
Isaiah, you got to cut that up because both of them agree. Because Tyvus defends himself all the time and says, no, I did the right thing. We got the guys here to tell us otherwise.
It's not smart football.
No.
All right, guys, we're excited to hear from JT and Cardale later on. And we thank you very much for being here tonight. So thank you, Cardale. Thank you, JT.
I appreciate you.
And how about a little louder? Oh, wait.
Thanks for the announcement. Thank you.